Hello, people. It's always a little blurry in the back, eh? I think it's the light, the way the light shines through this. Let's see if anybody's gonna come on. I was gonna do everything in one live stream, but I decided to do a special live stream for this group with the specific topic of the exercise during midlife. And then I'm gonna do another live stream about kind of like the ebb and flow of consistently eating healthy. How is there really such a thing, and kind of what it could mean, right? So this live stream is about just specific the exercise. It's not going to be too long because I'm going to keep it shorter, because I know my live streams go on and on, right? Aren't they going? Okay, there I am. Wow, it really does look like I'm in the clouds. It's got to be the light coming through there. That's so funny. It's not very clear, is it? Oh well, it's like a little bit of a white fog. Oh, it does that. All right, we're going to talk a little bit about exercise. And I get asked this a lot, and there's a lot of conflicting information. It's also not a question that's simply answered, because it depends on where you're at, what stage you're at, what your stress levels are like, what you were eating. So it all has to... Hi, Jeanette. How are you doing? How are you? Just seeing if anybody else pops on. Yeah, so it's a topic that it varies, and let's just start going right in, because there's so many variables to it. The one thing that seems to be consistent, though, is that after you do too much exercise, like where it's, so in your 20s and 30s and even early 40s, like I used to be able to do, hello Lori, I used to be able to do, good, I'm glad Jeanette, I used to be able to do, like I was into adventure racing, and I did personal training, and I did tons of a really hardcore weight training workout for myself, and I was doing mountain biking, and I was kayaking, and I was doing trail running, like mountain running, right? And I was like loving it and super fit and felt fantastic. Bang, bang, bang. And then when I started going into perimenopause, and I was personal training at that time too, so with one-on-one clients, whereas I took them through their routines, often working out with them, often doing the stair workouts with them, often doing like really quite excessive exercising with them, because I was working with women so closely, like, and they got huge results. But the thing is that my body began to break down. And why it makes such a difference is in perimenopause, your hormones, so your ovaries are producing less estrogen, right? Things are fluctuating a lot. So because of those hormonal imbalances, your body is already going now into more stress mode. And it's relying on other things to produce hormones now, because your ovaries are producing less. So what's happening is there's this whole shift. And then again, you've got progesterone are all of a sudden starting to decrease more and faster. Before, your hormone levels were kind of, hi Sherry, your hormone levels before perimenopause were a little more balanced, although there was always and always will be changes. Hi Benita. So note that it depends on where you are in your cycle, in the whole perimenopause, menopause thing. Where you are makes oh God, no problem, Sherry, jeez. Where you are makes a huge difference, right? And your stress levels, and the condition of your body, and the condition of your adrenal glands. So I'm sorry, there's not one simple answer. Too much of excessive exercise will actually stress your adrenal glands out more, stress your body out more, and you will gain more weight. Because when we are under consistent stress, our body puts on weight, and it will not release weight. It will not. Plus, extra stress reduces your immune system. It blunts hormone production. So if you're adding more stress by excessive exercise in your life, you're blunting the hormone production even more. Therefore, your body has to work harder to produce hormones, which is already working really hard already, and it's getting bonked out. It's getting too tired. So your adrenal glands are what produces the hormones. Well, the adrenal glands are now being tired because they're producing so much adrenaline and cortisol because if you're exercising, plus because they're called on to at this phase of life to now produce the hormones that your ovaries once did. right? So your body's trying to balance itself at this phase. So it's relying now more on your adrenal glands. So all of a sudden your adrenal glands are having to pick up all these extra jobs that they never had to before, So they get tired and exhausted. And when your adrenal glands get tired and exhausted, they slow down working just like we would. They don't work as well. You end up tired, fatigued, exhausted. Your body you start to feel like you're hitting a wall, bonk, no matter how much exercise you do, no matter how much coffee you consume, no matter how many good healthy foods you consume, you're feeling exhausted and tired. That's your adrenal glands. You are not giving it enough nutrients. You're not, hi Lisa, you're not relaxing enough, not letting your body recover. So during perimenopause, it's like a phase where we need to give our body space, time, and more relaxation. So if you think of kind of like when a woman's pregnant, she's going through hormonal fluctuations, major hormonal changes within her body. And we respect that and we go, okay, she needs more time to rest. She needs to take better care of herself. She needs to support herself with more supplements. Hi, Carrie. Well, all my women are here. She needs to take better care of herself. She needs to take extra supplements, right? So we know that about pregnant women, yet we're going through this perimenopause when you are also, this is a huge phase of your life, like adolescence, like being pregnant, where you are going through these hormonal changes. And yet our society hasn't recognized it as a time when you do need to take better care of yourself. It was just like push through it. Like all we know about it, most people, is hot flashes. And pretty soon one day your period just ends. That's it. We know women who've gone through it or are going through it, there is way more to it, but no one talks about it and no one told you, and your mother certainly never did. So this is the thing. There's more demands on the body. So of course your body is going to say, forget it, I can't do this anymore. So exercising a lot, if you are in the perimenopause phase, is where you're still getting your period off and on. Sometimes it's super heavy, sometimes it's light, sometimes you don't get it for 3 months, sometimes you don't get it for 4 months. And if you're feeling like, oh, I just don't have the energy like I used to, I'm more stressed, I'm experiencing a little more anxiety than I used to. So if you're going through all of this, do not excessively exercise. People asked about cardio, just doing plain cardio as in, where you can walk on the treadmill, move on the treadmill. You're getting your heart rate up, but it's not like excessive up, it's just like doable. That's not really going to burn. That's not really going to be effective in getting rid of any kind of weight, really. And then, so also that's true, but also it's true if you do major, let's say boot camps. So a lot of things common for women to get involved in these boot camp classes or these excessive, like just go full on exercise classes. If they've never done them before, what's happening is they're going from like, I'm not really in that great of shape, or I've just walked, or maybe, whatever, to all of a sudden these excessive exercise, their body's not ready for it to begin with. And then all of a sudden it's like putting way too much stress and way too much pressure on your body, and your body's, it's already bonked. It can't handle any more stress. It cannot handle any stress. Oh, that's a whole different topic, Bonita. You can still exercise like I'm talking about. That has nothing to do with it. You need to change what you eat for diabetic. You need to definitely get rid of all the starchy carbohydrates, and but not all of them. But I'm not going to get into diabetic eating today. So the exercise. So there's so many variables. The best thing to know is if you are feeling already a little stressed, if you're feeling pretty tired, if you are feeling you know what, Lisa? Just like counting calories. I was a personal trainer, you guys, and a yoga instructor, and I worked at a one-on-one exclusive training studio. I never monitored heart rate, ever. My boss kind of did, but we didn't too much because, well, for one, I never worked with patients who had heart problems. So I never worked with patients. I worked with patients. I was a post-rehab conditioning specialist too, so I worked with patients with injuries, but not with heart problems. So I never had to monitor heart rate because, yeah, exactly. Monitoring heart rate I don't know what the person's issues is. That has no, oh my God, it's like saying, almost like saying to somebody who has autoimmune disease to eat tons and tons of green powders and vegetables and take lots and lots of alkaline foods. So if somebody has autoimmune disease, their body, when you amp up their immune system, it fights against them. So they have to really watch decreasing those. So that's the thing about heart rate too. There is no one heart rate because you don't know what's going on in the woman's body. So yeah, you just want to, so this is what you look for. You need to, remember, it's always, always, always personalized to you specifically. What are your stress levels like? If you do an exercise, this is how a good thing. If you go to the gym and you do any type of exercise, how do you feel after? If you need to go home and have like 3 hours sleep, you're so exhausted, you're wiped right out, the whole evening is lost, you have no energy, you're feeling terrible. That is too much for you during that phase. That is just too much. You've depleted your body. But if you do an exercise where you go to the gym and you work hard, you sweat, you're like, oh my God, my legs are rubber, whew, but you're feeling kind of elated, you're feeling kind of like, oh my God, that was so amazing, I feel so good. I feel so good. Oh, that was hard, my legs are gonna be sore tomorrow. But you feel good, you go home and you're almost like more energized. That's the perfect type of exercise for you, right? So every single woman is going to be different. So if I say a heart rate, it can be completely different for every single woman. For one, I have very low blood pressure. So my heart rate is, well, when I was very fit, my heart rate was very slow because I was very fit. So if you're not fit at all, your usually standing heart rate is faster, right? It also takes you longer to recover. So when you're that way, you have to start, you can't just go into and get your heart rate way up. That's dangerous. You got to build it up, right? So there's so many variables. Yeah, there's just like so many variables. But for a person who's like not going into extreme exercise or doesn't have into serious problems, it's more about finding the exercise you want to do that you're actually going to do consistently. There's no sense saying you need to do this exercise. The person hates it. They go to the gym. They completely hate it. It sucks. They don't want to work out anymore. They don't do it, right? So if you're feeling your stress levels are good, your energy is good. Like you're feeling most days, my energy is really good. I eat really well, and you eat well to support your body. Then you are now going to see what works for you. So things like HIIT training, HITT. You can look online, there's tons. Intervals, that's another thing, interval training. Things like supersets with weights. So these things you can Google too, how to do, and especially YouTube videos, how to do supersets with weights. What are supersets? Things like that. And in my program, I could definitely, like I'm doing a new empowered program, and I could discuss a few more in detail there that in my program. What are these certain things? I can write out little exercises to do. So it would be things like if you're on a treadmill, if you like treadmill or elliptical, what you could do is do like, it depends on how fit you are. 30 seconds of going hard, extreme, do, right? And then backing off and doing 2 minutes of just regular. And then again, 30 seconds of extreme, hard, getting your heart rate right up. And then backing off and 2 more minutes of just coasting. And you do that back and forth and back and forth. You got to see 15 minutes is tough. So you got to start where you're at, right? So you can say, okay, I'm going to try this for 10 minutes. Try it for 10 minutes. Can you go longer? Then you do it again, 30 seconds fast and hard, 2 minutes of slow and balance and recovering a bit. Doing that for a certain period of time, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. And then after you finish your gym workout, stretch. And then you feel, how do I feel that night after doing something like that? Do I feel energized? Did that exhaust me? Things like that. It's really a trial and error because remember you're working with you as a specific person. And then, so if you want to go outside, it could be the same thing as finding a trail or something where it's got some ups and some downs, ups and downs, right? So you're continually like doing the different variables. You're not just sticking at one heart rate all the time because that will not bump you up enough and won't make much of a difference. It's good for heart health. any type of cardio, like where it's kind of just consistent, is still good for moving your body, getting the fluids moving, good for heart health, but it's not necessarily going to help you lose weight. So for women who love to walk, that's another thing. I see women, well, I'm a fast walker, and I see some women going for a walk, but they walk so slow. You can't, that's not considered exercise, right? Walking is what we are supposed to do every day. We are supposed to be moving our body in all different, bending up, flowing, like moving the back, arching the back, straightening up, side, different movements. We're very linear now. So just walking the same every day, just walk is not, you're just going to stay at a plateau. If it might even work where all of a sudden you start to gain weight because it's not enough for your body, right? So it's really about, like, if you go to the gym, or if you're doing stairs or a workout outside, like lunges in a schoolyard field, walking lunges, squats, push-ups, all of that is totally good. I encourage weight training, absolutely, and not just two pounders. You want to feel your muscles work, but not be too heavy. So if you're weight training, you want to be able to do 12 to 15 reps to start. And then when you get stronger, you want it by the 10th or 12th rep, it's going to be really hard for you to do. Really hard. That's how you kind of work it. Weight training is the best. It's not going to exhaust you, right? Whereas if you go do a boot camp all of a sudden, or you go do some extreme class at the gym, and you've already had a stressful day at work, even though you sat all day, that is what can be worse for you. So sitting all day and then going to do a workout that stresses your body to the max is just going to work against you, right? So it's better if you're feeling a bit tired, fatigued, after work, go do a warm-up on a treadmill or the elliptical, like 5-6 minutes. Then go do some strength training with weights, which could also include walking lunges, which really gets your heart rate up. Some push-ups, which too, if you do them back to back, like you do some legs, and then you do upper body sets right after, bang, bang. And then you go back and forth without a rest in between, you'll notice your heart rate will raise, but it's not going to exhaust you, okay? So those are some different ideas. I'm going to read the comments now. Food and weights, and like I talked about those intervals where you do 30 seconds really hard, 2 minutes slower, 30 seconds really hard, 2 minutes to recover, or whatever it is for you. Some people may be able to go 1 minute really hard. Some people may only be able to do 20 seconds really hard, right? So treadmill, that means like 20 to 30 seconds running, then walking for 2 minutes, things like that. And then you change the times. Eventually you don't need such a long recovery. So you can do 30 seconds, 1 minute recovery, 30 seconds, 1 minute recovery, things like that. You can switch it up. There's no exact science. Well, your legs could hurt for so many reasons. You may not be stretching. You haven't developed your ligaments and tendons. If you start exercising, especially extreme, when your ligaments and tendons, which are attached to your muscles and bones, are not strong, your muscles will build faster and they'll pull. And you can tear a ligament, you can tear whatever, all that. So by working, like building up with weights a little slower, and stability exercises help to build strength within the ligaments and tendons. So things like, the wobble boards, the Bosu, doing little squats without weights on that to build the stability muscles in your body. Doing planks to build the stability muscles in your body, the supporting muscles, ligaments, and tendons. All of those are really important. You don't just go and do a whole bunch of. So if you're considering weights, I highly suggest getting a personal trainer, because, oh my God, when I go to the gym, I see disaster happening all around me. Disasters. These women are going to get no results. They're going to injure themselves positively. The big thing is they're not going to get any results because they're doing it wrong. So I highly suggest getting a trainer, even just for a short period of time, to show you how to do the exercises correctly. Because you can go online and get exercises and stuff, but if you're not doing them right, you're going to injure yourself and you're actually going to get no result. And that's the thing. So also, if you go to the gym, don't just like read a frickin' magazine or your thing while you're doing some stupid leg exercises and like you're off in Wonderland thinking you're doing a great job, but all you're doing is moving your limbs around. That pisses me off. No, it requires focusing on the muscles you are using. So if I'm doing a bicep curl, you know, I'm not this, for God's sakes. What are you working, right? Your bicep. You keep your arms stable, your elbow in, and you curl, and you focus on this muscle right here. It's a small movement, very small movement, right? Focus on the muscles you are working. How do they feel? Can you feel them working? Contract them a bit. Feel them working. Focus on what you're doing. Just going and randomly flinging around and pulling some pulleys on a machine is not going to give you any results. Total waste of time. Total waste of time. All you can say is that you've been to the gym. That's about as much as that's going to work. So if you're going to do the gym and get some weight training, absolutely get some instruction. Yeah, you're focusing on them. And one thing that I did when I hate working legs, hate it. And when I'm at the gym or when I'm doing it here, I focus on what I want my butt to look like, and I focus on what I want my legs to look like. It's like, okay, I'm doing this to have these shapely legs, which my legs are not at all right now. And I'm doing this to get a, you know, shapely butt. That's, you know, this is what I want. But also, it's like, you need to know that at this phase of life, you guys, we build muscles slower. So, right? For muscles to show. So some people say, why are you so, I mean, I haven't worked upper body for over 10 years, right? For your muscles to show, it is because I don't have a lot of fat on my body. So even abs, you're not going to see good ab definition if you have fat over top of them. So it's nutrition makes the biggest difference on how you how your muscles will look once you develop muscles, right? You can build all the muscles you want, but if you have a whole bunch of fat sitting on top of it, you're not going to see the definition, right? Now, I don't build, the place fat goes for me is my belly. Fat does not go on my arms. Fat does not go on my arms. Fat certainly does not go on my butt. So people think, oh, you're so lucky. But it's okay on my arms, but my legs are super skinny right now because nothing goes there. It's like, yeah, I need to build more muscle in my legs. So there's so many things to consider, but it's not a loss. You can build muscle at any age, even in your 80s. So, but the only way you're going to build that muscle is to be consistent with weight training, strength training, body weight training, whatever you decide to do. There's certain exercises, like in yoga, there's different types of yoga where it's very based on strength and you can actually develop muscle. So I know, yeah, no, I don't, you know, but it's also because I really, I only, like right now, I'll eat maybe 2 meals a day because it's hot here. But I'm conscious of that. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, I could really eat toast or a whole bunch of stuff right now. And I'm like, well, I feel heavy, sluggish. Oh, so I'm probably not going to do that, right? It's about the decisions. Yeah, I don't get, food is not where I would naturally go right away if I'm stressed or whatever. So, but that's me, right? I'm lucky that way. I've always been that way. But yeah, it's about consistency. So I can say with the gym and same with your eating, the biggest thing that makes a difference is consistency. You can go to the gym 2 or 3 hours for 2 weeks in a row and then not go, you're not going to get the results. If you do some types of exercises like every day or every second day at home consistently for like 3 months, you're going to notice a difference. You're going to notice a difference. And you may have only exercised 20 minutes, right? You will notice the difference. It's just we think, oh, this is silly. It's not enough time. Oh, I don't have time today. So it's what you put first, right? It's always what you think, what your values are. You value watching TV. You value being busy. I got to clean. I got to organize. I got to do this. You value work. So some people seriously value job, work, career so much that they put everything else last. They have a successful career, but then when they get into midlife, they've gained a lot of weight and they're feeling tired, sluggish, fatigued, and very cranky. Whereas me, it's always been my health, my body, freedom. I put work last. Always have. Oh my God, seriously, not good right now. So there's always bad to everything, right? What our values are, is what we put first usually. So you can see how much you value yourself by how much time you give to yourself. That's a good way to know. So if you're somebody who says, I never have time for myself, there's self-worth issues there. You don't value yourself. No matter how you're going to dispute that, that's absolutely true. It's just about because somewhere along your life you were taught that women should never put themselves first. It would mean you were selfish. It would mean you were a bad person, right? Things like that. So I hope that helped about exercise, and it was only going to be a few minutes. Lots of jewels in there, but my programs do cover all of this type of stuff. I'm doing the empowerment program. That is starting on Monday. The price is still only $127. In January, you guys, my prices are going up. And like they're going up because it's time I start charging my worth and owning my worth, because this is my business, and start getting better at business instead of just the other stuff, right? So just know that's absolutely going to be the truth. That's what's happening. So get in now. I highly encourage you. They are fantastic programs. We already got a group of magnificent ladies in them. So come and be a part of it. DianaMarchand.com/empowered, EMPOWER, empowered. It's really truly about you becoming empowered being, as in making powerful choices for yourself, right? Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being here, ladies. All right, I'm jumping off. I might do a live on my personal now. Okay, bye-bye.